Your session is for 8 minutes, so there will be a bell which will ring at the 7th minute. So once that initial bell rings, you should understand you have only 1 more minute. Two, the focus is for networking, which means you need to present the essence of your work rather than focus on the results and the science behind it. You can mention the science, no doubt on that. So these two, welcome for the afternoon session. The session will be chaired by Dr. Ramesh Lekurwale, and all of you know that we had the NAC interviews happening, or sessions happening in the morning, and just finished right now. So he will join us soon. He is the director of IQAC, so I would want to welcome him, but then he will join us in between the session. So just for your information. So meanwhile, we'll start off with the first presentation. And I'll hand over the mic to Geeta Lakshmi, who will be comparing the session and monitoring the time also. Pratima is also here, two of them.
Yeah, so very good afternoon. The first speaker of the session is Dr. Nilesh Wagh on air quality monitoring and climate variation in Mumbai.
So good afternoon all of you. This is my second year for ARM. In last ARM, I promised that I will bring some funding. And I did this with this one of the most important project under the scheme of NAMP. This NAMP is National Ambient Monitoring Program governed by Ministry of Environment and Forest. This Ministry of Environment and Forest given some of the air quality monitoring stations to each states, and among that the Mumbai is a hotspot region for the particulate matter emission. So I think you are experiencing so much of particulate or dust suspension in last few years in Mumbai. So this is related to that one, related to the monitoring. But this type of monitoring is not related to monitoring only. The purpose is not only the monitoring, but we have to deal with the climate science. That is how these patterns are moving from one season to another season. This project is related to that one. So this project granted on 5th December. We got the sanction letter on 5th December last year. So as you all know that Mumbai's air quality is deteriorating day by day, and somehow we have to make some policy decisions, and for these policy decisions there are sufficient number of air quality monitoring stations should be there. But right now Mumbai carry only 17 monitoring stations throughout the Mumbai. So it is the demand that we have to set up 3 or 4 more monitoring stations, and last February we have started to work on this project with my colleague Dr. Sagar Marathe, and we decided to find out some 3 monitoring stations covering 60 square kilometer area of Mumbai, that is the core of Mumbai, that is Bhandup up to Andheri and up to Ghatkopar and Sion. So in this project, we are going to cover the particulate matter 10, particulate matter 2.5, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen. These are very primary parameters. Apart from that, we are going for the volatile organic carbons, that is benzene, toluene and xylene also. Apart from that, we also going to find out the exact levels of polyaromatic hydrocarbons in Mumbai air. Why polyaromatic hydrocarbon? Because benzoylpapyrene, benzoyl E-pyrene, these are the indicator pollutants which are giving the signature of the human activities in the climate or in the air. And that's why to find out the source apportionment about how this air quality is deteriorating, we have to find out this polyaromatic hydrocarbon. We already completed the polyaromatic hydrocarbon monitoring of Navi Mumbai region. Now we are shifting towards the Mumbai one. This is my 4th project throughout my career, and this is my 2nd air quality monitoring station establishment project. So by correlating air quality data with the climatic factors such as macroclimatic and microclimatic, that is wind speed, wind velocity, relative humidity and temperature with UV radiation. So we are going to design the project likewise. In this project, we are going to complete we are going to satisfy these three sustainable development goal, and when we are completing these 4 sustainable development goal, automatically the 17 goal will be satisfied. So these are some of the objectives. This project is the first level project. This is only for first 2 years. Next, when we compile the data and submit the data to MOEF, then it will exceed for the next 5 years, and the grant will be released accordingly. So the North Maharashtra University Jalgaon, where I established this type of project, and it is still continued from last 15 years. So this is also one kind of next level project. This is the level first, and the level second is also for 5 years. So in the first level, we are going to find out the compliance with the NAC standard, then identifying the hotspots in the Mumbai region. And then we are going to cover the high quality data for the scientific research and studies for the air quality trends in variations throughout the seasons. Then the air quality deterioration, what are the trends of air quality deteriorations starting from January ending up to the December. So this will provide the policymakers the exact scenario of the Mumbai air quality, and the decisions maker will satisfy their goals through this data. This is a real time data like project. These are the areas where we are going to cover the Mumbai region, that is 60 square kilometer area we are going to cover. In this, the funding agency is MOEF and monitoring agency is Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. So one project fellow is there and 3 project assistant will work on this one for 2 years. Our expected outcome is that we can find out the scenario, air quality scenarios based on the compiled data or the analyzed data, evidence-based recommendations for the urban planning for pollution control measures, and the increased public and stakeholder awareness, because most of the time the projects are limited up to the analysis and report making. This project is not only up to that, but we are going to get the outcomes of the public, outcomes of this project up to the public, so that the awareness should be there. And in a framework of integrating air quality management with the climate change adaptations. So these are some of the outcomes. What is the progress? We got the letter in December, and by the 10th January we had completed the validation of the air monitoring stations of Bhanduk, Andheri and Ghatkopar. Then we have to sign the MOU with the MPCB, with the university and MPCB. This process is in pipeline. I'm expecting 30th Jan will be the last date of submission of MOU, and MPCB will then give the equipment for that one. Already near about 3,75,000 equipment already sanctioned, and they are going to deliver after the MOU. So this project will likely to start by the mid of the February. So this is from my end. Thank you. Any questions? Then okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker for the session is Dr. Nidhi Maheshwari. Her title of her project is Biological Resources, a Gateway to Advancement in Agriculture and Healthcare.
I am working on 2 projects. One is from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and another is sanctioned from SVO seed grant. So the title I have merged for both. On both the projects, I have merged one title, that is the Biological Resources, wherein I am working in one project with the microbial source and another I am working with the plant source. So biological resources they may serve as a gateway for the advancement of agriculture and healthcare. So I'll discuss one by one both the projects. Initially, I'll start with the DST sanctioned project, wherein the emphasis is on crop improvement for sustainable agriculture, or we can say for the sustainable agriculture, we are defining some cultivable varieties. So the project title is Identification of SNP Markers for associated with grain calcium content in finger millet. So the project is sanctioned by DST Vice Kiran Division. The problem statement of this project was that malnutrition is the great concerns globally. So, and the calcium is the one of the major concern. So finger millet can be taken as an increased dietary intake could be taken in the form of finger millet. For that we have to identify and establish genetic and genomic resources from finger millet varieties that could be utilized or analyzed for improvement of further crops that are the staple crops, or this genetic and genomic resources could be used to identify high calcium yielding varieties. So that is why we are trying to identify the markers associated with grain calcium content in finger millet. So the project objectives are the collection of different finger millet varieties across India, and then analyzing those finger millet varieties for their agromorphological, biochemical, and molecular diversity analysis. So we are specifically focusing on biochemical, that is the grain calcium content and grain protein content. So the best varieties of with respect to the grain calcium content would be selected. And then we'll construct the cDNA library from those varieties that we have selected. And we will identify the SNP markers in that varieties that is associated with grain calcium content. So we will try to link SNP markers with grain calcium content with the high grain calcium yielding varieties. So this is our ultimate target, to identify biomarkers for grain calcium content in finger millets. The project was sanctioned initially in Kelkar Education Trust, Mulund, on March 15, 2022. Thereafter, I joined SVU on October 2022. So thereafter, the project was transferred in 2023 to SVU, and we received the sanction order in 2024. So we have received the fund, and now I am in the process of purchase of chemicals and equipments. So from this grant, we will be getting a PCR. So coming to the expected outcome, as I have told you that I'll be focusing on the different varieties across India, the finger millet varieties, and we'll assess the diversity at the agromorphological biochemical level, and also at the molecular diversity level. And then finally, we will try to identify a particular specific markers that may tag high calcium content varieties of the finger millet. So that will help in the marker assisted selection, and that will help the farmers for sustainable agriculture. Instead of growing the low yielding variety, they may focus on that particular varieties. And thus it will help in the crop improvement if a biofortification is done from the specific grain calcium content gene from finger millet. We can transfer it into staple food that are the staple diet for different people, like rice and wheat. We can integrate that gene that will help in the biofortification. So this is another objective of the project. So the progress is that we have received or we have procured around 35 finger millet varieties from ICRISAT, International Crops Research Institute, Semi-Arid Tropics, Hyderabad, and also from Indian Institute of Millets Research, we have procured 5 varieties. We have studied the biochemical characterization, and for the SSR analysis or molecular diversity analysis, we have designed the primers. We have identified and studied the SSR motifs in finger millet. And primers have also been designed. So status is that we will be doing the PCR, that is molecular diversity analysis of the various varieties that we have got. And we'll prepare the cDNA library of those varieties and try to identify SNP markers associated with high calcium content amongst those 40 varieties. And that will be further validated as a particular biomarker for grain calcium content high. So these studies have been done. Since I have to discuss my another project, so I'll just skip this slide. These are the results. So we have studied the SSR motifs, and we have designed the primers based on this study that we have done. So the till date in SVU we have presented oral presentation have been done, and 2 MSc thesis has already been submitted in 2023. With respect to the in silico analysis, the students have done, and biochemical analysis of the fingermlets they have done. So now we'll be focusing on the molecular diversity analysis. So the another project that I told you, that biological resources, one is the plant-based, that is related to the agriculture aspect. Another is the microbial source for the healthcare or pharmaceutical sectors. So the project is bioprospecting of mangrove endophytes for the pharmaceutical importance, funded by seed grant. So mangroves are, due to the urbanization and technological innovations, there have been increase in the systemic diseases in today's era. So pharmaceutical drugs are used or utilized, but they have their own side effects. So mangroves endophytes produces, or mangroves associated microbes produces certain metabolites that have pharmaceutical importance. So those metabolites would be analyzed in this project for their efficacy against antimicrobial, antibacterial, antioxidant and anti-cancer activities. So we'll go with up to the scale up with the best variety we'll isolate from the mangrove endophyte. The project sanctioned on 30th April, and the amount sanctioned is 2,70,000. We have received 50,000, and we are on the process of purchase. So these work we have done in the project that is related to mangrove endophytes. So we are focusing on the assays. One assay we have done, antioxidant, will be focusing on anti-diabetic, antioxidant, and further assays we are further focusing on. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. The third speaker we have for today is Dr. Chaya Goswami. Her project is titled Indian Archives Project. Also, with round of applause, let's welcome our chair. I would like to welcome Dr. Chaya Goswami. So we have Dr. Lakshmikant Hari. His title of the project is Adoption of Circular Economy Approaches in Sustainable E-Waste Management in India and Russia.
Good afternoon to all of you. This is about the external grant we received from the SPARK. SPARK is basically funds for the mobility grant, and this program is coordinated by Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, and it comes under Ministry of Human Resource Development. The grant is basically about e-waste management and using circular economy approaches in India and Russia, basically cross-country learning and learnings. To begin with, we know that the e-waste is the major concern nowadays. Around 62 million tons of e-waste is generated annually globally, and each year, like around 2.5 million, there is a growth rate of e-waste generation in India. With increasing digitalization and all these things, the problem is going to become much more complex. Having said that, e-waste is not only just a problem, we also it's a basically a e-waste contains a lot of materials and resources which can be recovered. And we have in the science something called the industrial ecology. The basic idea is like where all the industries located in a closer space, they can share the resources starting from the energy, minerals and all those things. Also the waste of one industry becomes a input to the other industry. That's what the industrial ecology. Now we are moving from the industrial ecology to circular economy, where the waste, whatever the waste is generated, we are looking for the recycling and upcycling and various other activities, and we want to minimize the landfills as much as possible. That's what the basic objective of the circular economy approaches is. So this is what we are looking for. The current project is collaboration between two countries, India and Russia. The 4 institutions are involved. KJ Somaiya Institute of Management being the primary institute, we got like 2 other institutions in India we are collaborating with. One is Indian Institute of Management Mumbai and Institute of Rural Management Anand. And the international collaboration institute is like Peter the Great, St. Petersburg University, Russia. The objective of this project is to identify the challenges in the e-waste management, current challenges, and also develop the strategies for managing the e-waste efficiently using the circular economy approaches. And also, whatever the strategies we develop, we are going to estimate the economic implications of those strategies and rank the strategies, prioritize which one to adopt and go for. And also at the end, we want to develop a framework for the adapting and capacity building for the e-waste management. We divided this project into the 7 stages, starting from the understanding global scenario to undertaking the case studies in India and Russia. We also identify some of the best practices across the globe. Like the best practices is like European Union got something like Right to Repair Act. So whatever the mobile phones and laptops and all those electronic gadgets, like if you are in the European Union, the consumers got a right to repair. So these kind of best practices we want to identify, and also identify the gaps in like e-waste management. Then we'll be moving to the feasibility study, and finally the project falls under the economic and policy study. So we will be one of the takeaway from this project is the policies on India and Russia to adopt the e-waste management, and also we are coming up the book. About the funding agency, as I said, like it falls under the Spark program, coordinated by the IIT Kharagpur and Ministry of Human Resource Development. We got the sanction for the 77 lakhs for this project, and in July 2023, to mention that like the proposal was submitted in pre-COVID. 2019 we submitted proposal, and because of all the issues, COVID and all those issues, actually we forgot, and somehow all of nowhere we got a sanction in 2022, 23 we got a approval sanction letter, and finally we received the first installment of around 31 lakhs in March 2024. I said the deliverables of this project is like benchmarking the best practices, identify the gaps, and coming up with the policy suggestions, policy frameworks for the adopting these circular economy practices in the e-waste management. As I said, this is basically a mobility grant. When I say mobility grant, the grant is basically for the international scholars, international investigators to travel to India and conduct the research. So as part of this grant, so international team will be visiting India. They already visited in October 2024, and also they will be again planning to visit in the March, April this year. And also as part of this project, the team will be developing and facilitating a course on the e-waste management in circular economy. Status as of now, so we are currently working on the review paper on these practices. We also presented a conference paper. 2 capstone project students are offered through this project, And as I said, like the Spark project workshop was conducted in 21st to 25th October 2024. As part of these 3 international faculty visited our institutes for a week, and they conducted 2 master classes. Done. Having said all these things, as you know, the name is the collaboration between India and Russia. Given the geopolitical situation, and also there is a delays in the mobility. So that was the delay. It's supposed to start in 2023. So finally we got them in 2024. And again, apart from this, even dispersing the fund, there is a international restriction. So these are all the some of the delays which is not in our hand, but we are trying to deliver the project deliverables on time. Yeah, that's about this. Thank you. Any queries, questions? Thank you.
Do you develop any lab facilities, or it is only for the travel and those things?
It's only for the travel.
Travel.
It's only for the travel, and there is the international team together we
So
facilitate a
October
course.
they had come here.
Yes.
So our team when is going to
No, there is no funding for the Indian PI to travel, but there is a facility for the PhD student to travel.
to travel to Russia?
Yes.
So when are you planning that?
So, as I said, like we had to make the payment for the international team.
Okay.
So it's struck because of the international restrictions because
Okay.
of that war.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
payment we are not able to make.
Okay.
Once that get clarity, then like
Okay.
the PhD student can travel in March.
That will be duration how much?
So we budgeted for almost 6 months to 9 months.
Okay.
But yeah, with all the war and all those situations, like you can't say. But we are actually waiting for the payment to happen. So that's the thing we can proceed. Otherwise, we asked even the IIT Kharagpur to the way forward, but we didn't get any response or a reply for the financial that.
Good.
Payments.
Congratulations for this project.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker of the session is Dr. Prachi Pathak on comparative study of ancient Indian languages.
Good afternoon. The principal investigator of this project is Dr. Bhagyashree Bhavre. However, she is occupied with the program of Consulate of Sri Lanka. So in the capacity of co-principal investigator, I'm standing here to explain the report of the previous year. The project is on comparative study of these 3 languages. We conducted 2 workshops. In the previous year, we had our 2nd workshop, which was conducted from 7th October to 11th October. It is under the funding of Central Sanskrit University, where there is a scheme of Ashtadashi. And we had received these grants in which we had conducted 1 workshop. The second was basically focusing on the teachings of these 3 languages, because as we all know that language is not just the medium of communication, but every language that we chose had some peculiar characteristics. As Sanskrit has the precision of grammatical structure, then the Prakrit has some regional peculiarities, and Buddhist Sanskrit, which has a mixture of Pali and Sanskrit language. So we tried to observe some comparative similarities and differences between these 3, so that the students can get the overview of studying these languages. The objectives were to study the languages with the comparative approach, of course to understand the interconnections, also to understand the process of language development as fluid and as not stagnant. It is a flowing process. Then to understand the correlations and interactions of Sanskrit with Prakrit, Pali and Buddhist Sanskrit. As this was conducted in the offline mode, the sessions were very much interactive, and we could explain the grammatical structure, also some technicalities, and ask for the feedback or the report from the participants, which helped us to understand that how the workshop was conducted. We had invited a few speakers from outside, the experts in their respective fields, along with one of our faculty member, and all the experts explained their respective languages with proficiency. The amount that was sanctioned was 3.6 lakhs, which was for the course workshop plus handbook, which is in process of preparation and printing. The first installment was of 1.80 lakh and it was utilized for 2 workshops. The total 25 participants took the benefit of this workshop. So that's all for the progress report of the previous year. Thank you.
The next speaker we have is Dr. Monalisa Bahera. Her project is on Indian Knowledge System at Somaiya Vidyavihar University. So now we have Mr. Balasaheb Wagh on Balagita Shatakam.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our project Sanskrit Balagita Shatakam. Shatakam means 100. This is the collection of 100 Sanskrit poems for children. So this initiative aims to harness the power of songs and rhymes to expand children's vocabulary and enhance their language skills. By integrating music and language learning, we can create a fun and engaging environment for children to learn Sanskrit without the stress of grammatical study. So myself as a principal investigator and Bhagyashree Bhaure as a co-principal investigator, we work together on this project. Actually, Sanskrit is very intact with grammatical aspects. So we tried to collect 100 points from various scholars from the India, and we received 150 poems. The objective of the project is to inculcate values in children through Sanskrit songs, and we selected various themes for the Sanskrit songs like environment. Under the environment, we received the description of nature, the description and importance of rivers, description of mountains, rainy season, greatness of nation, national unity. So there are many themes we selected, and we received various poems on the various themes. This is the project under the Ashtadashi. Ashtadashi means 18 the categories for the projects for the sustaining the growth of Sanskrit. It is under the Central Sanskrit University, and it is affiliated with under the Ministry of Education. And we selected the theme or the area is children's literature. So Sanskrit means there are very few modern Sanskrit literature for the children's literature. So we given the project and we received 3 lakh sanction for the project. So first installment 1.50 lakh we received, and the expected outcome is the 100 selected poems will be published digitally, and it will be significant contribution to the modern Sanskrit. Along with we are giving the pictorial presentation of each poem. So this is the progress. What we received 120 poems from the various poets and 98 poems selected by the committee. They scrutinize the words and the meaning of the poem, and it is in metrical form. So in the month of Feb, it will be completed, and the second installment we will receive. Thank you. Yes. Is there any question? Yeah, it is in on dry. I will show you later, because here only the yes, yes, sir. Yeah, it is newly composed. Yes. And we received the copyright also from each poet. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker we have is Dr. Rajalakshmi on a study on virtual reality advertising on purchase intention with special reference to Mumbai region.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries present and my dear colleague. So my topic is on a study on virtual reality advertising on purchase intention with special reference to Mumbai region. And this research is funded by ICSSR, that is Indian Council of Social Science Research, Government of India, and under that Western Region Council. The total amount grant is 1 lakh for a period of 1 year. And it is divided into 2 installments. Like first installment being 60%, that is 60,000, which we have already received. The second installment will be received only after the completion of the project. So let us see what is virtual reality. As we all know that augmented reality and virtual reality, there is a difference between the two. In augmented reality, we have the real-time experience as well as we have the virtual experience. Whereas for virtual reality, we have only the virtual experience where there is, immense connect between, and we are totally out of the real world. Many companies, they have used like Gucci, IKEA, Apple, McDonald's to say a few. Those have used this advertisement. And here in this research, I want to find out the emotional connect, that is cognitive element attached to it, and whether it is like customers, they are perceived with the intention of buying, whether it happens or not. So I have listed few objectives here. The first and the basic objective is studying the consumer behavior in the era of digitalization with the proliferation of devices and with the Android applications. We know that advertising is getting more popular in this region. And then the next one is the role of virtual reality. In India, it is still in infant stage, so that itself is a research gap, geographical gap, which I have found. And like whether consumers are really into virtual reality and whether that is converted into actual purchase or not. The third one, which I want to understand, is the emotional and cognitive response of the consumers based on the VR marketing experiences. So it is divided, the 1 year is divided into 4 quarters, and currently I am into the 3rd quarter where data collection and analysis is pending. I am into data collection actually. And as I told you, like first installment is 60,000, which has been spent for the research assistant approximately 30,000, and books and other miscellaneous things 5,000. The second installment of 40% will be received only after the publication of the report. Thank you. I thank management for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Any questions? Which one? So it is basically mine is social science. So you are talking about like how I am going to do that emotional. So it is like through only interviews and a structured questionnaire where I'll be interacting.
When somebody is interacting with your AI, how are you going to capture the cognitive, emotional things?
So it is through only that structured questionnaire, like a scale questionnaire, where I have asked questions related with that, whether they are getting the real-time experience on through advertising. Mostly it is used in automobile and fashion industries where you can find this VR advertising. So consumer interaction to the structure.
Textual feedback basically.
Yes, yes. So all types of scales I have used here, interval, ordinal. Thank you. Pardon, sir? So currently, as mine is only like social sciences, I have not, there is no such provision in the budget for the equipment. So I am interacting with like few companies where I can go and hire that. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. The next speaker for the session is Dr. Santosh Mani, binary liquid crystal system despite with nano-sized particles for display and photonic applications is the title of his project. Okay. So the next speaker is Dr. Shivangi Thakkar on development of polymer electrolyte membrane.
Meeting after lunch. I hope it is not boring. The topic that I have is on PEM. So I was showing this PPT to my son, and he said that he is actually knowing this, how to do electrolysis in the standard 5th. So I had to make it a little interesting so that it is new, and he believes that I'm doing a research and not teaching school kids. So that's what my presentation is on. We all know about electrolysis, that's splitting the water and getting the hydrogen and oxygen, but that's not what all we have to do in. So objective of my project is to make sure that the hydrogen generation, which is generally done with the electricity, instead of that, we make it as a green hydrogen. So that's what the main concept of the research topic is. I have studied the different types of electrolyzer, alkaline, PEM, and the solid membrane. And the choosing of PEM is because it has more scope. It can be done on the minor scale, lab scale project. And one more reason, which I'll show you along the slide, is because PEM electrolyzer can give the load even in the part load condition, in the dynamic condition, when you have dynamic requirement of the hydrogen generation. So that is one of the reasons. And the second is the storage and handling of hydrogen. So that is also one of the main issues that we will be doing in this research. So we have started this last year. After going through the entire process of electrolyzer, this is the part where we have done the focus on, because in the electrolyzer, bipolar plate and the membranes, these are the things which you can enhance the efficiency of a normal electrolysis process. Usually it gives you around 60 to 70% efficiency, but with the change in the design and optimization of the process, we can take it to 70 or 80% also. This is the schematic process. Now, this schematic may not be a very easy to understand, so I will show you one of the better way. We have done the SolidWorks modeling of the bipolar plate, which shows the two different types of designs, where we have a serpentine and parallel design. Okay, so the focus is only on the plate, bipolar plate. So after doing the SolidWorks modeling, we came to know that the serpentine is a better giving flow, but it is a little difficult to manufacture. So what we have done is we have got both the plates designed ready and manufactured already, so that we can do a comparative study of these two plates. After the SolidWorks and ANSYS analysis to find out the flow rate, the simulation performance, we have come to the parameters of factor of safety and the total equivalent stress, and finalizing the designing for 15 mm of the plate size. Okay, so that this was done to find out the thickness of this particular plate. This is the equipment which we have got made through a manufacturer, indigenous equipment, and it is installed in A309 lab, which is in the same building, 3rd floor. In case anyone of you interested in seeing the demo or the machine, you are please most welcome to come and see. Now, the main part here is currently the electricity is supplied through the normal electricity, but we are now going to change it as a solar panels. So we will be attaching the solar panels so that the total electrolysis process will be done using only solar energy. Total approved budget was 3 lakhs, but we have utilized 153 already in making this electrolyzer, installing it with all the attachments and 2 different types of bipolar plates. Next budget is around 150 lakhs, which we'll be utilizing in this year for installing the solar panels, batteries, wires, and the final full connections. Activities which are planned in the next 6 months is the installation, doing the experiments on the bipolar plates and changing the various catalysts so that we get again the better efficiency for solar powered electrolyzer. For the timeline, I think we'll be able to complete the project in 2 years because it is already installed and now the experiment part is going on. The outcomes, so designing, making the electrolyzer, that was the major outcome, which we have done through SolidWorks, ANSYS, and then finally the manufacturing. Vendor identification is already in process for solar panels. We have one paper in review in a journal, Scopus Index journal, which is also co-authored by the LY students. Next paper, which we are going to present in ICTH, which is the upcoming conference in KJSE, and energy is one of the main topic of that conference. These are some of the references that I have referred to. So thank you so much for your attention and time. Any questions that I can take up, please? Thank you. Yes, sir.
What is the proton exchange membrane you are using?
Sir, Nefion. Currently, we are using Nefion. So that was one of, sorry, I just skipped that slide. One of the objective is to change the membrane and make it biodegradable. So that's what is, again, with the solar panel installation, we are going to try and change the membrane.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next speaker we have is Dr. Sharanya Thalur on Project REAPS.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Saranya, from the Department of Mass Communication. So how I have come to the seed fund is because of the interest and the area of communication for development. And I have my co-PIs, Dali ma'am was also there with me, and Parvati was also there. So today I'll be presenting for after the last ARM, what was the updates or the progress of my project. So you can see seed gives birth to REAPS. My REAPS is having one more extra E, which is actually the reviving, exploring, and engaging agriculture past and present stories. So I am actually a media person. I have limitations. So when I go to a paddy field, when I go to a farmer, I can connect with the farmer to inform the public. That was my catalyst role for this project. So the area which was taken was Samirwadi, or Bagalkot district of Karnataka, and Beed district of Maharashtra. So I have just mentioned the introduction as science communication in agriculture, which clearly matches with the SDG goals. So if you can see the science communication, for me, it was actually the scientific temper which made me to connect these people and bring the main things which is connected to this project. Mainly the pilot, it was actually a pilot project from my side to a sugarcane farmers. Why sugarcane farmers means, if you see the statistics, in India, the largest sugarcane cultivation is happening in Maharashtra and Karnataka. Third place goes for UP. So this was the reason why I came and connected to the other PIs. So you can just see my project objectives. I have major 2 objectives. One was bringing a website, which is live with the stories of farmers. It was actually with the 2 purposes, one for the farmers born and other one for born farmers. Later in your life, when you realize that you can go back to nature, such stories can also get a website. From my side, that was. The second one was leveraging resources and building a science communication system. This was actually in a form of a conference or a workshop, which I'm sitting and discussing with my co-PIs, like lab to layman, that type of conferences where I can bring a farmer also to the campus to discuss the science communication or environmental communication with our students or any other stakeholders. So these were my 2 major project objectives. So the expected outcome I have clearly explained about the websites, which can be the voice for the farmer. And second one, which can be building an ecosystem in the form of conferences or even through workshops, which can be So the seed fund was from Somaiya Vidyavihar University, and it was for the amount of 1 lakh. First installment, I was able to get a 50,000, in which I was able to utilize this for my website, purchase, traveling, and connecting stories. So I just come for my progress. I'm not sure whether there is an internet connectivity. The major thing was the website launch. If Google me, if you can just type REEAPS, you can find a live website with farmer stories. So I'm adding the farmer stories with my contacts more, but still it is there with around 25 stories about farmers. It's in a form of a storytelling or a narrative style. Second one was like, I was so happy that from one of my locale where I was able to meet Geeta Lakshmi also, we were able to write a paper which was published in the first Indian Scopus Journal for Agriculture and Extension Education, which is IJEE, which is sponsored by ICAR. So that got published also in the month September 2024. We are also in a process of writing part is done, SLR, Systematic Literature Review, about the social media connections of farmers, and it has been submitted to Media Watch Journal for the approval. 3 times they have asked first for the revision, it's done. Now the 4th is with the editor. And coming to the most beautiful part was I got a chance to submit for ICSR project. It was a huge collaborative project of 30 lakhs. There was almost 5 team. One was Mr. Nandakumar from KIAR, the director of KIAR. But unluckily, the ICSR was shortlisted during the interview, online interview. The people from ICSR clearly clicked the person who was less informed about the project. They asked only questions with the person in our team who was less informed about it. That was the problem for me. I was supposed to make sure that the information has reached everywhere, but the 4th collaborator was not able to give convincing answers. It was a learning lesson for us, so we keep on submitting the projects. One empirical study was also done. I was so happy. Mona Lisa Bera from Dharma Studies, we were able to collaborate for the same purpose under the category of traditional indigenous knowledge, which I can connect with farmers. And the last thing, which is from lab to layman, is my dream, where I can connect with journalists, I can connect with academic people, I can also connect my students with farmers also. That is under progress. So I think within 2 months, this can be also practical. And the last part is like, with help of my students, because I'm from mass communication, my students learn how to study the reach of a website. So there are many tools they gave me, which is like basics of Google Search Console, and many others. So I'm learning them to know the visibility or the reach of my website. That is also under process. So soon, I think next year, I can stand proudly saying that I have already got an ICSR project for the same. Thank you so much. Questions and suggestions? Yes, sir.
Hello. Madam, you only working on this, or some students also connected to this one?
Sir, I was the only one, and Parvati ma'am from Surak and Dali ma'am was the co-investigators. We all 3 had gone to the Samirwadi for collection. There, I think she was also there as a part of her PhD. So my paper, which I've written, is with her.
If you involve more and more students, na?
Yeah, I need, sir.
The
I
scope
need.
of that project.
That's the conference main idea.
Yeah.
If I can get in touch with some people who are really into nature, we can actually bring this.
And that way you can give more and more internship to the students also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Science communication point of view. It's true, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Separate domain, sir. Separate domain. Google's separate domain it is. No, sir. No, it's not. Yeah, once my project is done, it should be given because I'm still adding stories to the website. Yes. Yes, I can talk to the IT team. Yeah, sure. I'll talk to my Mahir, sir. Good. Yes, that is only. This is the address. No, .com. It's just type REAPS on Google, you will get the website. Sir, I have the link which was here, but I don't know whether I will be able to connect it. No internet.
Wi-Fi should. Wi-Fi.
I don't.
Wi-Fi should be there.
No, Now we can see. It's not connected. So some internet issues. It
So
is
you can think of getting
connected, yes, sir.
website.
Sure, sure. I'll talk to that. I'll update you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Project sanction grant
2023 August.
2023.
August.
Out of the outcome is one journal paper and two are in pipeline.
2 are in pipeline, and one ICSR project was also in September 2020. I have submitted, but I couldn't get that.
So the journal paper is SCI?
Journal is a systematic literature.
Then this is SCI paper?
Sir?
Scopus index paper?
Yes, yes, yes. It's the first Scopus index in Indian journal. This is IJE.
Okay, no.
Yes, sir. Sir, 24 I got the first installment to buy my website. So I have till June 2025. Yeah, that's a timeline which is given 2 years. So within that I can conclude. So the conference is also. Thank you.
We have our next speaker for the session, Dr. Santosh Mani.
Hello, very good afternoon to everyone. I am Santosh Mani and I would like to thank this Somaiya Vidyavihar University for providing us an opportunity through this annual research meet to discuss about our project that was sanctioned in 2023. This is the table of content. So the proposal was a binary mixture of the liquid crystal which is dispersed with the nano-sized particles for the photonic and display application. We requested 22.5 lakhs, but we got a sanction of 5 lakhs. We thought that at least we can purchase one instrument, either the polarizing microscope or impedance analyzer. So this is the details of the investigator myself, Dr. Suren Patwardhan sir, Professor R.R. Deshmukh from ICT, and Dr. Pradeep Sarvade from Department of Physics, University of Mumbai. So the whole idea I just want to brief, when we talk about the soft material, a liquid crystal, they have a many properties, many advantages, but the two key point is they take a very less amount of energy as compared to the other material, and they have an intermediate properties between the crystalline solid and the liquid and the liquids. That's why they are used for a number of applications. If I'll start, all the cosmetic, paint material, the display, the thermometer, in fact the artificial muscles, they got the n number of applications, but they have a certain kind of a drawback. When we are using for a display, the amount of this contrast that they give, that is very small. Many times that we have seen the difference between the LCD and the typical LCD with the LED display. Their view angle is very small. The existence of the intermediate phase is also very less for a range of the temperature. Sometimes we get a flickering of the images, and the response for the voltage that is required, that is also very high. The response time is low. So what is the objective of our project is, it was earlier that we're going to do this thing, but we started from the scratch to prepare the empty cells that where we can place our samples, then optimization for the composite material, then dispersing a nano or the quantum dots, then to do a number of studies starting from the electro-optic, then dielectric parameter. So this is what we have done till now. We have prepared the empty cells. The optimization is done. We have dispersed nanoparticle. The electro and the dielectric properties is done. Till now, we got a one patent and one Scopus Index publication. The other we are writing. It will take around at least 9 months to submit to a journal. So this is what is typically our idea, that when we prepare a sample and if we want an empty cell to be purchased directly, it costs around 24,000. So what we did is, we started from scratch. We purchased the ITO coated glass of 10 by 10 centimeter size. And then with a glass cutter, by using a jugaad kind of a technique, we cut into pieces, and then we have to check their resistivity, and then we have to use the adhesive, which is a UV curable. We have to put under the UV lamp, and then we could prepare. So I got a box. If somebody want to see, they can see. So now this is the empty cell that we can prepare. Now the advantage of this empty cell is I can use this at least 5 times. Once the paper is published, then this can be used 5 times. Just remove it, clean it properly, put in the hot air oven, and then it is reusable. But the one that we are purchasing, it can be used only once. It cannot be used. And the other advantage is I can change the thickness starting from 5 micrometer to 25. Whatever the thickness I need, I can change it. So this is done now. Around in 200-300 rupees, we are able to prepare this empty liquid crystal cells in our laboratory. The second thing it comes that when we are looking at the liquid crystal, we want to make it stabilize. We have to disperse a polymer network. There are many techniques the chemistry person knows, but ones that we use is the PIPS method. That is polymerization by the induced phase separation method. The advantage of this is very simple. Not much chemistry, they are very weak in chemistry. So that is done, and then by the UV light, we can do this optimization. So this is what we need, a very basic thing. A pre-polymer, a liquid crystal, we have to mix it with a different concentration. We have to place under the UV light to get the optimization. And then once we get a PDLC, then the advantage for the PDLC is they don't need a cross polarizer where the polarizer and analyzer they are kept at the angle of 90 degree. They have a long life. Their preparation is very simple. But they have also some kind of a drawback. They need because of polymer, once they get stable, the requirement of their voltage becomes very high. Their threshold voltage is very high, so that can be further reduced by using a nano-sized particle. So this literature says that the best suitable material we can use any kind of nano, but the best is the quantum dots. So this is what we have used, liquid crystal. Then we have to search a lot that which polymer is suitable. So for our material, the matching refractive index is this Northern Optical Adhesive Nova 65 is suitable because of this refractive index. And then this is the best suitable candidate, a quantum dots around 25 nanometer. So we have prepared our samples. We have taken a pneumatic liquid crystal with PIPS. The PDLC is done, then optimization is done. Then we need to disperse quantum dots because due to the ultrasonication method. And this is what, okay, I'll just try to wind up. This is what we are proposing in our laboratory. If we go and purchase this, we'll go around 5 lakhs, but I think maybe in 3-4 months, within 50,000, we'll be able to put this kind of a setup in our laboratory where we can do the electro-optic, thermo-optic, and a response time ka study. So the basic idea is that this will give you the optimization that which polymer and liquid crystal they are optimized. And once it is done, we can do the electro-optic study. So this is the electro-optic study for the different concentration that is done. Here we can see it very clearly that which concentration is giving a best contrast ratio. Like we can see that if there is no quantum dots, then the contrast ratio is around 169. If you are using, it is increasing up to a 900. So we can understand that there is a lot of increase in the contrast ratio, and this threshold voltage also remains constant. So not a much voltage that is needed. Then we have done a dielectric measurements and to find out the relaxation frequency that are available in the material with a Cole plot. So this is what we have done. And now we are exploring this for the smart kind of the windows. So we can understand that once we are applying this, phase will going to change for a different concentrations, for a different temperature. I'm just playing all three because of less time. So you can understand once the heating is in, the similar thing will happen with the voltage also. So that opaque will become a completely transparent. So this is what is the conclusion that we have prepared serious quantum dots dispersed liquid crystal. And this is what we have done now. The further activities we need to do many studies of polarizing optical microscope. We are trying to get, if we can get here, because it takes one sample at least 1 day. So if there are 10 concentration and 10 cycles of heating and cooling, it will take around 100 days. Then rise and fall study, UV, and then same have to do. So this is the expected outcome. So I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor Sir, Provost Sir, current Dean Research, and our Director for this support. These are the references I have used. We have also used this kind of a technique for one design patent that we have got. So thanks. If there is any queries, I'll be happy to answer or any comments. Sir, yes. Sir, we have also patented, we could do the unique type of the material that we could synthesize a elastomer liquid crystal. And in the India, we are the only one that we could synthesize elastomer liquid crystal, and that is also patented. So with the Sir Patrick Keller, we could synthesize. So that we are using for the artificial muscles. Maybe for the flexible lenses also we are trying.
My second question is, with this kind of work done, can't you get more funding from outside agencies?
Sir, I have submitted at least 3 projects, and the first stage presentation was done. Let's see if I can get it in the future.
It looks good potential, you know.
Yes, sir. There is a lot of time consuming, so like most of the after the college hours and Saturday, Sunday, I have to spend.
What's the pre-polymer used?
It is a NOVA, Norland Optical Adhesive 65. I have got that NOVA in my lab. You can come.
It's
Yes.
actual structure I want to.
Yes, yes. Ma'am, we do not have a polarizing optical microscope. We have submitted. We got some fund through the research promotion. So maybe in the coming days, we are trying to get one polarizing optical microscope and the impedance analyzer. Whatever the work I have done, majority of them are done at the university lab or at the ICT. At the ICT, this polarizing microscope is there. But we are trying to get like with a effect of temperature also. And the impedance analyzer also we are trying to get with the LCR meter that we can do from millihertz to megahertz, because normally NOVA control goes around 70 to 80 lakhs. We are trying for the small version, which will go around 15 to 20. And with again Jugaad kind of method, the heating can be done. So within 20 lakhs, I think it will be done. Let's see if we can get it. Anything else?
You can give scientific explanation for those jugaad, because you can definitely come up with some theories. Na? Those who cannot, they will say jugaad like. But you are a scientist sort of person. Na?
Sir, why I am saying unless it will get patented, earlier what we have done is that to determine the phase transition temperature, we could make another kind of an instrument by using a simple concept of the Newton's ring, the Fabry period scattering, where we could find that if a POM or the DSC is giving us some kind of phase transition, the changes is hardly 0.2%. So now that instrument we got patented. So now we can say that is full-fledged, because the difference is hardly 0.2 with the Fabry period scattering studies.
Give your name to that design.
It is not, sir, only my work. It is the done of at least 2 generations. It takes time. That's why I said that for at least one sample, the heating and cooling takes at least 2 days for one. So if you have the 10 concentration, that will go around 100 days, more than 3-4 months, if you do every day.
Are your students involved in this?
Yes, sir. I have got one PhD student. He is just in the learning phase. It will take time, sir. It takes a lot of patience. Even the empty cell preparation, that if you do it, if you spend at least 4 hours, there are chances 99% is failure. Because unless the area is same, the dielectric study, the capacitance cannot be determined. So all this empty cells has to be same area. So that has to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. PPT you can take.
Thank you, sir. Now we have Dr. Archana Sharma. Her title of the project is Unraveling the Effect of Shape and Size of Undoped and RE-doped Metal Oxide Nanoparticles.
Hello and good afternoon to all. So I have received the seed grant money in this academic year only. So the sanction was obtained in May 2024 only, and just now I have received an approval letter to start using the fund. So this is just a glimpse of what my plan is that I'll be presenting over here. So the topic, as you all can see, is unraveling the effect of shape and size of undoped and rarer doped metal oxide nanoparticles on the electro-optic and dielectric properties of the polymer dispersed liquid crystals. So I'll just give a glimpse or a brief introduction about what liquid crystals are. So liquid crystals are basically a unique state of matter whose property exists in between liquids and solids. They can flow like a liquid and they have mechanical properties or the arrangement of molecules like a solid. So that's why we are saying that the property is in between liquids and solids. So what are the properties that makes them very useful nowadays is their response to the applied electric or the magnetic field. So if we are applying an electric or magnetic field, these liquid crystals have a tendency to align themselves so that the current can pass through. It allows the light to pass and hence it creates an image on the screen. So that concept is basically used for the LCDs nowadays. Secondly, I'll be discussing about PDLC, so that's polymer dispersed liquid crystals, which Mani sir has already talked about in the previous presentation. So polymer dispersed liquid crystal is basically an arrangement of liquid crystals which are dispersed in a polymer matrix that further enhances the properties, and there also their optical property changes. So optical property changes meaning these PDLCs may show some different behavior in the form of opacity or transparency. So nowadays we can use this property of PDLCs for the application in smart windows or switchable privacy doors kind of things. And further, I am actually interested in dispersing nanoparticles into these PDLCs. Why am I interested in this is because the vast properties of nanoparticles, as there's a lot of role by the surface defects to play when I talk about small size nanoparticles. So we have a wide range of choices of changing the optical properties, electrical properties, structural properties that can vary the properties once they are being doped into PDLCs. So I can enhance the optical properties or the mechanical properties of these nanoparticles when they are doped in PDLCs. So that way, that came into my mind of proposing this for the seed grant proposal. Now, basically the project objectives would be first of all to synthesize liquid crystals, then we will be making polymer dispersed liquid crystals. There are basically 3 steps, so as there are step by step which I'll be going through, and then the third one would be to dope in the nanoparticles, obviously different kind of metal oxide nanoparticles into these PDLCs. And obviously, last but not the least, whether these nanoparticles are being formed in a proper phase, proper structure is there or not. So I'll be doing various characterization on these nanoparticles. Obviously, structural properties, optical properties, and since I'm talking about LCs or PDLCs, definitely I would be interested in further doing electro-optic characterization, dielectric property measurements on how these nanoparticles have basically changed the properties of the liquid crystals and the polymer dispersed liquid crystals. So the methodology that I'll be following, this is just a schematic representation of what steps I'll be following. So to prepare the nanoparticles or to synthesize them, I'll be using the basic chemical route, that is Sol-Gel technique, in order to grow the nanoparticles of different size and then shape by controlling different parameters like temperature or the concentration of the solvents and the materials. Secondly, my idea, as I have already discussed, is to make PDLCs, that is polymer dispersed liquid crystals. So we'll be using the pre-polymer matrix in order to disperse the liquid crystal, and then Further process is to dope in the nanoparticles in these PDLC. So there will be a matrix created or a polymer nanocomposite kind of structure would be created. Next, the outcomes meaning will be obviously studying about the structural and the morphological properties. In terms of size and shape, I would be performing SEM, TM, AFM kind of techniques just to ensure that these nanoparticles are formed in the small size, as we are expecting a lot of change in the properties for the small size nanoparticles only. We are not into the bigger size, meaning we don't want nanoparticles beyond 50 nanometers. So we are interested in small size nanoparticles, or as sir has said, quantum dots. So we want size below 10 nanometers. So in order to ensure, we'll be performing all these kind of characterization techniques. Since size, structural properties has a major role to play over here, so in order to understand whether a proper crystal structure or phase has been formed or not, I would be performing X-ray diffraction studies on it. Optical properties, as we are talking about nanoparticles, we would like to confirm whether the band gap is higher on side, because small nano size tends to have a higher band gap. So in order to ensure that, we'll be performing UV visible and photoluminescence spectroscopy measurements on these nanoparticles. Then stability test. As I said that doping nanoparticles into PDLCs could change the mechanical properties. So in order to ensure whether they are being strong or there is any change in the properties about the alignment of the molecules of the liquid crystals or not. So we have to do the stability test. And it is important if we want to use them for further applications, as sir has shown some studies about the switching of the opacity or the transparency of these materials. Obviously compatibility test, and then further, so just a second, yes. So we have alignment and dispersion, in the sense, are these nanoparticles helpful in changing the alignment of the liquid crystals? As I said, that liquid crystals have a property of changing the alignment if we switch or apply a magnetic or electric field across them. So how much is the alignment, whether it is feasible for us to be used in to use them for the application purposes or not. So we have to do this alignment and dispersion test, optical, electro-optical properties, and obviously we have to test them if we want to use them for the further potential applications. So as you can clearly see, we have potential applications only when we are combining semiconductor nanoparticles with this liquid crystal. There are a wide range of applications, not only smart windows or these switchable opaque doors or kind of thing. Yeah, just a second. Yeah. So, and also they have important application in the field of sensors as well. So we are interested in making them useful for sensor applications. Details about the funding, though I applied for 7 lakhs of budget, but the amount which was sanctioned were only 3 lakhs. As I said, I have received this approval around 1 to 2 months back. So as of now, for the first year, I'll be utilizing 1,50,000. So we have a plan which is in progress for buying some chemicals, glasswares, and some of the instruments like anti-vibration table and digital scanning oscilloscope. So these are the instruments that we are buying. And as Santosh Mani sir is my co-PI, so we are working in collaboration. So we are utilizing some of his funds and some of mine to get some instruments ready for the characterization purposes. And this is the work plan actually. So once we have received all these things, we'll be beginning with the synthesis part. And maybe after 6 months, we'll be starting with the characterization once we are done with the synthesis and all. So that's the work plan for the next 1 more year, as the first year is about to end. So maybe in 18 more months, I should be able to do kind of work so that it can be published at least, and I can present some papers in the conferences and publish at least 1 or 2 journal papers. So I will be having a PhD student this year. So we have a plan to start working on this area. Yeah, thank you all. So if any questions, yes. Not the band gap, so in order to check the band gap, we have to...
No, I'm saying you can check the band gap. I'm saying, is there any mechanism to change the band gap dynamically by applying electric or magnetic field of the liquid crystal? Is it possible? I was asking.
No, not the band gap, just by applying electric or magnetic.
No,
we have to play with the concentration of the materials that we are using.
Can you rearrange them in periodic structures?
Yes, I think yes.
But
so I have not much experience in liquid crystal. I am also into it.
So if you can arrange periodically, then you can change the band gap.
Okay.
Artificially.
for dispersion. I haven't seen which monomer, which polymer you are going to utilize for dispersing this.
So that is under process. So most likely
No,
I'll be...
but processing is one thing, but which is the plan? What is your plan? Which
Plan-
type of polymer?
Pre-polymer, NOAA 65 as Mani sir has talked about. So we'll be using
Which
the
polymer?
simple
Which polymer?
polymer.
What is the monomer of that? Because you are mentioning a polymer dispersed.
PDLCs, yes.
Definitely, there are thousands and thousands of polymers, no? Several million. So which is the type, which is the structure type of polymers you are planning? No, she should...
The principal
no, copy is different. It's something, because when you present a plan, you should be able to...
Obviously.
Somebody will ask this question. Because if you just trace your lecture, you have mentioned polymer dispersed, but said liquid crystal at least 10 times. But you have not even mentioned which is the polymer you are using.
So we have not yet started working on it. That's under
not
plan,
started
so-
working. It's a work plan, no?
Yeah.
It's a work plan.
Yes, yes.
So where are you going to disperse, and which polymer matrix you are going to disperse, and what should be the criteria of that polymer matrix? All these things are important. No? It's a dispersion, it could be a dispersion medium. But even then, what is the type? Why are you dispersing it first?
To build up the strength, sir.
Not because of the COP PI.
No, sir. So to change the optical properties, as I said, in order to, they have a response to the electric field or the magnetic field applied. As I said, they can change the optical properties. So PDLCs have
You are an assistant professor. So I think in the case of seed money, I don't know whether somebody is there responsible for the seed money. Now you are here. So I think in the case of seed money, I think it has to be independent. You have to really seed it and see that it grows and plants. So that is the purpose of it. Actually, seed money is not for collaborative work or working with a principal investigator. It's not correct. By the very definition of seed money, it's not correct. It is something which an institution is giving for an individual to take independent initiative, And therefore, you cannot say that this seed money this seed money is with the principal investigator, with another. No, it's not.
No, I'm not sharing the seed money, sir.
It's not a collaborative research project.
We are setting up the lab.
Seed money is for getting the minimum things which you are planning for a big tree. It's a seed, no?
So yes. So that's what I said. It's under process, and we are setting up a lab for the same. So once the lab setup is done, we'll be beginning with the synthesis process.
The director, Dean Research should ensure that the seed money is for promoting the independent initiatives of researchers. Even without a research scholar, I should ask, if I am a new coming faculty in the university, I should be able to start something. And then you bring, of course, you can take research scholars. You can take, but it's not a collaborative project, and seed funding is not collaborative.
Yes, sir. And what I understand is they wanted 7 lakhs, so only 3 lakhs were given. So remaining, I think they are taking from their setup.
So at least to start with.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Research. Yeah.
So that's just the beginning, sir. That's what I said. We are to set up the lab. We have to start the synthetic process. Once that is done, once we start getting some results, yes.
And then that tree can give more seeds. That bigger tree will give more seeds.
He is supporting only, sir. I'm not using his money. He is supporting only. He is kind of a mentor for me. Yes, yes. Obviously, so he is kind of a mentor for me. I'm learning about liquid crystals and polymers from him. ICT is working a lot in ICT over here. Yes, yes. So we need funds for that also, na, sir, if I want to take my students. That's what I'm saying. So this is just a big content. The learning, that's a learning stage. I'm learning from the suggestions that I've taken. Thanks a lot for the suggestions.
Thank you, ma'am. The next speaker we have, also the last speaker, is Mr. Zahid Sheikh on Security Operations Center, Cybercrime Investigation Laboratory. Zahid, sir. So now I would like to call upon Luqman Mohammed, sir, the convener of the session.
Yeah, so I would like to call upon the chairman of the session, Dr. Ramesh Lakurwale, to summarize this session, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. As you know that this is the second ARM, and the objective of this seed fund and all that is nothing, it is nothing but the stepping stone. People should avail that facility more and more, and they should be able to apply for the external funding. So in total, there are total 13 presentations there. Out of the 13 presentations, 8 were from the external funding and the 5 from the internal funding, that is the seed fund. So slowly, in future it should happen that all the presentation has to be from the external funding only. Then we can keep one separate session for the internal funding. That should be the outcome of this one. Then you can connect more and more students, UG, PG and PhD, so that this the outcome will come. Then through this, you can develop the research lab facility also. If you develop the lab facility, then more and more students you can, again, another faculty can avail that facility, and that will go to the, again, more and more external funding. So this is all the summary from my side. Again, one more thing I wanted to highlight over here. Some of the researchers got the outcome of that in presence of, in the form of research paper that in the SCI journal, that is a good thing. And one of the presenter applied for the patent also, design patent. So that is a very good part of this one. We are in the process of changing some seed fund that policy, or it's very, it will be available soon on the website. That will cater the more and more faculty to apply for that. So I think this is over from my side. Thank you.
Thank you to the speakers. It was very informative. And thank you to our chair as well. Okay, so as a small token of appreciation from the ARM team, we request the Provost Sir, Dr. Shivgaonkar, to kindly come up and give them a token of appreciation. I request our chair, Dr. Ramesh, to please come. Ask the student to come now. So please. I also request.
Actually, and in some of the functions this book gives. I was about to ask the Samir or maybe some authority, I want this particular book.
Read your mind, sir.
Yeah. So I got today without asking. Okay. Thank you.
I also request Lukman sir to kindly come ahead. Thank you, sir, for investing your time. Also to the team, actually, for investing their time in collecting the samples and so on. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Provost.